The Absa Cape Epic route design team is charged with the challenging task of providing the 1,200 intrepid riders with the best possible mountain bike experience, and also ensuring that the route is challenging enough that each of them really earns their finisher's medal.
Usually I do the first stage, so not this year, but then the first stage we try and make as hard as possible, just to let the people realize they are doing the epic. But yeah, I think I actually enjoy long climbs, and so yeah.
It's critical that the route design team complete the entire route, as the riders will see it, to identify any pitfalls along the 700-kilometer course.
You get a real sense of what the route's really like when you ride it in one go. You can ride all the little sections on different days and think they're great, but they don't necessarily make a good stage altogether. You need to get a sense of the total climbing, the flat bits, the fun bits, how they all work together to make a really great stage.
The other trial riders have important roles to play in the reconnaissance of the most televised mountain bike stage race in the world.
Trial ride helps us to get to know the route first and foremost. We also get a good sense of what is ahead on the actual day. It helps us to know how difficult the climbs are coming up, because often when we were the last riders, what we do is we give them a lot of the facts on the day to help them make decisions, because sometimes a team might have to decide to split up so that one person can make it or not. So depending on the average speed they're traveling, etc., knowing what kind of climbs and headwind, etc., is ahead or where we're going, we can really help them to make those calls on the actual day.
Trial ride helps me familiarise myself with the route, so if in the morning when we're out on the bikes there is something that's changed or there's an arrow board that's missing, then we know which way to correct the route and then remark it so that the race can carry on without having any hiccups.
Well, I was asked by one particular farmer who was riding with us for a section of what my job was, and when I told him I was working on media, he looked at me for a while and then he said, well, I thought you were here because to see whether old people can ride the epic.
But the trial ride, it's not just about seeing what the riders will be going through, but also to identify entry and exit points for medics and for media.
One of the biggest challenges of organizing the Absa Cape Epic is finding the right stage locations. Towns large enough to host the 1,200 riders, their supporters and the race crew.
On the trial ride it's very good for me to be able to see where the spectator points are, maybe meet with the landowners when we go through these properties where the spectator and water points will be.
The spectator points actually these days require parking the size of like our race villages when we first started the race in 2004.
So the trial ride really helps me on the live days when I'm commentating, because I get a real understanding of what the riders are going through. We know exactly where the really tough climbs are, and we know if there's any pretext to the race. For example, if there are breaks up the road or if there are particularly strong athletes, we'll have an understanding of who's going to break where based on their strengths and weaknesses, and also having understood exactly what's happening on the ground.
Rider safety is top priority at the race, with the route spanning hundreds of kilometers, sometimes visiting highly remote areas. Communications is the key backbone to the medical team and to keeping track of every rider out on the course.
The terrain, that's one of the reasons we have to be on the trial ride, is to make sure that we cover all bases. If the moment you go across mountain ranges, and that dramatically affects the communications. So the question for us is, can we get communications throughout the route, from the start right through to the finish?
With the trial ride crew covering a full Absa Cape Epic stage each day, they need to stay refueled. Help is on hand with the Day Trippers.
Day Trippers is a touring company. We look after all the trial riders and make sure that they're well nourished and fed and watered along the route. We've got the mothership which runs ahead. So when we see the mothership, it's like Christmas. So we get Christmas about 3 or 4 times a day. This year's been wetter and colder than usual, but I think the trails have been fantastic. and I'm really looking forward to seeing how the Epic riders handle it.